Have you ever thought about why some women choose to live alone? No partner, no boyfriend, and not even seeming to search for one. It's not because they're lonely, have no choices, or are nursing a broken heart. The reason is deeper, more complex, and it challenges everything we've been taught about what a woman's life should be. When a woman decides to be alone, she's not wandering aimlessly. She's discovering who she truly is. That kind of self-discovery doesn't come with cheers, social media likes, or a crowd around her. It comes with quiet moments, inner strength, and a freedom that many still don't grasp. She's not lonely. She's choosy. She's not distant. She's just done giving her energy to people who didn't value it. There's something powerful and unsettling about a woman who feels complete without a relationship. It breaks the idea that women need someone to control or define them. It shows a hard truth. Many men don't know how to handle a woman who doesn't need rescuing. And many women are still learning to see their own strength in that quiet, powerful reflection. Carl Jung once said that what we refuse to face in ourselves becomes part of our shadow. These women living alone often reflect society's hidden fears. They represent what many secretly wish to be, but few dare to embrace. They don't shout for love. They quietly make their own choices. They don't seek attention by putting themselves on display. Instead, they step back to protect their peace. They care less about fairy tale romance and more about their own calm. This makes people uneasy because while society pushes everyone to pair up quickly, these women have found strength in being with themselves. A woman living alone isn't lost. She's operating on a higher level where she chooses what she wants instead of begging for it. Her presence is enough. She doesn't need approval. That's why she faces so much judgment, so many labels, so many attempts to box her in. But what people miss is that her quiet strength challenges the usual emotional expectations. She doesn't want just any love. She wants one that doesn't shrink her. Until that arrives, she stands strong, complete, and whole. Maybe you don't see it yet. Maybe you think it's pride, exaggeration, or hidden pain. But deep inside, there's a small question stirring. One you can't ignore. What if this quiet path is the only way to find the most important kind of love? The one that starts with yourself. The silence around a woman who lives alone isn't empty. It's her sanctuary. Those who don't see its value might call her cold, distant, or proud. But what they don't realize is that she didn't build those walls to keep the world out. She built them to protect herself. As Jung said, what we avoid in ourselves, we project onto others. Maybe that's why so many still see solitude as a lack, when it's actually a space for growth. While others seek fulfillment in relationships, this woman looked within. There, in her own depths, she faced old wounds, unspoken losses, and loves that were really chains. Her choice to be alone didn't come from pain, but from healing. She didn't stop believing in love. She stopped accepting versions of it that made her feel less. This woman knows what it's like to lose herself in love, to give too much, to settle for scraps she never should have accepted. But one day, she woke up. It wasn't a sudden change, but a slow realization, born from disappointments that stopped hurting and started teaching. What you see now isn't coldness. It's wisdom. That wisdom is intimidating because it demands honesty, depth, and presence. She doesn't want just anyone. She wants someone who matches her effort. She's not drawn to empty promises, but to real connection. That's why she might seem out of reach. Not because she's difficult, but because she's whole. A whole woman sparks two reactions: admiration from those seeking their own strength, and fear from those who still feel incomplete without someone else. She doesn't want to complete anyone. She wants to share her fullness with someone who's found their own. Until then, she stays alone, not by chance, but out of loyalty to herself. She's not hiding, she's guarding her peace. There's a big difference between shutting people out and protecting your own heart, but the world struggles to accept a woman like this. Society still pushes the idea that happiness comes in pairs, that being single is a failure. Jung said that where rules dominate, there's little room for realness. This woman lives by her truth, not society's rules. She hears comments like, "You're too picky," or "You should settle." And she smiles, knowing what others call picky is just her standard, the one she fought years to realize she deserves. She's not chasing perfection. She's looking for someone mature enough to love without breaking her. That's rare, and it's why she unsettles people. She's proof you can be happy without relying on anyone else. That truth strips away illusions. Men who thrive on women's doubts feel threatened. Women still seeking validation feel exposed. But she's not here to judge, she's just living her truth. And that truth, born from freedom, is a mirror to those still bound by expectations. She's not in a rush. She moves at her own pace, and that frustrates a world obsessed with speed. She craves depth while others chase distractions. She seeks real connection while the world settles for surface-level bonds. When she says no, it's not a game. It's honesty. When she walks away, it's not drama. It's self-respect. When she chooses a quiet night in over empty company, it's not pride. It's clarity. That clarity, earned through pain and growth, is her greatest strength. She doesn't live to please others. She lives to be herself. That alone challenges the system. What unsettles people most isn't her solitude, it's the peace she's found in it. As Jung taught, those who look outward dream, but those who look inward awaken. Her inner journey was tough, a process of shedding masks, facing fears, and rebuilding herself. She no longer sees herself through others' eyes. She sees herself clearly. That changes everything. How often have you wondered if being alone is a failure or a freedom? How many times have you felt the need to explain why you're single in a world that worships couples, even unhappy ones? She felt that too. She once thought something was wrong with her for being alone. But one day, she realized it's better to be alone than invisible in a relationship. That day, she promised herself never to accept less than she deserves. Her path isn't easy. There are days of doubt, moments of longing, and nights of deep silence. But with each choice she makes, her strength grows. She learned that true love doesn't trap or diminish. It frees and uplifts. Until that love comes, she keeps growing. Not out of pride, but out of integrity. This woman is Jung's idea of individuation come to life. She broke apart, faced her shadows, dove into her depths, and came back stronger. Now that she knows herself, she refuses to be half of anything. That's intimidating because it demands real emotional responsibility, something many aren't ready for. Most people love out of need, control, or fear, but she walks alone because every step is a lesson. Every no is self-respect. Every absence is a reminder that love shouldn't be begged for. Her certainty, born from her deepest truth, transforms everything around her. A woman who's rediscovered herself is powerful, not because of force, but because of her clarity. She's not unreachable. She just won't let herself be overrun. There's a difference between opening your heart and letting it be broken. She opens up, but only to those who come with honesty, not empty words. Her intuition is sharp. She can sense what lacks substance. Her transformation runs deep, tapping into an ancient wisdom that women weren't meant to serve or shrink, but to shine and overflow. In embracing that, she's become a wild, intuitive woman, fully in charge of her emotions. She's not lost. She's connected to her own path. No matter how many labels, cold, difficult, distant, people try to pin on her, they don't stick. She doesn't live to fit in. She lives to grow. She doesn't chase attention. She radiates presence. She doesn't wait to be chosen. She chooses. That shift confuses those who still try to control women's worth. But she's beyond that. She's learned the real relationship starts when you love yourself enough to not need anyone else. There's something sacred in how she moves through the world. Her confidence is quiet. Her strength lives in her silence. Jung said that facing our inner selves shapes our destiny. By choosing herself, she's writing a destiny few understand, but many secretly admire. She doesn't beg for space in anyone's life. Presence should be invited, not forced. When it's not genuine, she walks away, not with anger, but with the dignity of someone who's been hurt too often to let it happen again. She still wants love, to be held, touched, chosen. But she wants it without losing herself. She's spent too long fitting into spaces too small for her soul. Now she only gives herself where she can be whole. That takes more than romance. It takes awareness, the kind that comes from facing your own shadows and still choosing love. She's not chasing fairy tales. She wants a real connection where both can grow without dimming each other's light. If that seems like too much, that's fine. She'd rather wait than settle for less. To some, that's pride. To her, it's self-love in its truest form. We're seeing a new kind of woman, one who's left the shallow behind and dived into her depths. She's tired of being wanted only for her surface and chose to be valued for her essence. She's alone not because she's given up on love, but because she knows real love doesn't ask her to sacrifice herself. Her presence alone shifts the air, not because of magic, but because of the weight of someone who's faced her inner battles and found peace. Jung would say she's found wholeness by embracing both her light and shadow. She wants to love, but only in a way that lets her be both joy and pain, calm and chaos. Those who only love her easy parts don't know what love really is. And those who expect constant lightness miss the beauty of the struggles that shape growth. The world fears women like her, women who don't need, who don't bend, who won't be shaped. They challenge old rules and break unspoken agreements that a woman's worth comes from being paired. When she rewrites her story, she inspires others, and that's revolutionary. She moves forward, sometimes with tears, sometimes with pride, but always grounded. She's not alone, she's with herself, and that's enough. The love that comes next won't save her, it will celebrate her. It won't fill her, it will overflow with her. When a woman chooses to walk alone, the world tries to tell her she's wrong. But deep inside, she feels something aligning. It's not stubbornness or defiance, it's wisdom born in silence. Jung called it individuation, becoming fully yourself, without masks or compromises. Her truth doesn't need to shout. It shows in how she quietly closes doors, steps away from what doesn't serve her, and smiles in peace, even alone. Being alone isn't a punishment, it's a promise to her own soul. The world will keep offering distractions, shallow promises, and love for show, but she's seen through it all. It's not about finding someone, it's about never losing herself again. That realization changes everything. Desire turns to discernment. Lack becomes choice. Waiting becomes a journey. What once hurt now teaches. What once held her back now sets her free. You feel it, don't you? That spark, that memory, that stirring inside. Maybe it's a glimpse of a woman you once knew or the woman you're becoming. Something in you is asking to be seen more clearly, something that no longer fits old patterns. This woman who lives alone is more than someone who defies expectations. She's a symbol of emotional freedom, proof you can rebuild without rushing or proving anything. She doesn't lead or follow, she carves her own path. And on that path, she lights the way for others waking up too. If this story touched you, maybe it's because you're ready for a new kind of love. One that starts with yourself. A love built on silence, truth, and presence. A love that can't be begged for or faked. If that love hasn't come yet, maybe it's because you first needed to become the woman who knows her own worth. If this message reached you at the right time or woke something inside you, share it with other women who need to remember their strength. Like, comment, and subscribe. Not out of habit, but because it feels right. When something touches your soul, let it keep echoing within you and beyond.